Welcome to the Wise Take DFS Podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm joined yet again by one of our regulars, one of our Wise Take experts, GPP specialists. We got Paulie D, a.k.a. Paulie 8Ds. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie D. That's 8 Ds. Paulie, what's happening, man?
Not too much, man. Hanging out. Looking forward to next week. Just saw Game of Thrones, first episode, new season. They fucking started off with like a 16, and that's it, dude. Just chilling. Man, what about you? What are you up to?
No, man. The weekend was cool, man. Just been busy trying to update little things on the site and just trying to mess around and see what things that I think could be more convenient for our awesome subscribers that we have over there. But yeah, man, things are good, man. Hung out with the wife. She's off from work for a little bit, so that's always good. And she's big on Game of Thrones. So like I was like on the phone all with business calls and on the laptop and all that. I didn't watch like 1 minute of it, and she just watched Game of Thrones. So I missed the whole thing. But she's a big Game of Thrones. I know that's like a really popular thing going on. I think this is becoming like a TV show. Like not even on purpose too either, man. And like we can't even blame Joe because for some reason I find like she's not even here. It's just me and you, and we're talking about TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty popular show. Like I started off kind of cold on it, and it like really grew on me. And then it's really an awesome show. Like most HBO stuff that they put out.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that I know likes that show. I'm like the only person that I know that doesn't watch it.
Yep. But it's just a really good like story. Like I'm not even into like that fantasy or whatever
that's my problem.
Genre it is.
And like I like to, like the minute I see like something like that it's like I don't think is like realistic. The minute I see it, I'm like, and like listen, man, I was a pro wrestler. I don't expect to see like everything has to be super real. Like if a guy gets punched and he's not bleeding, that's unrealistic. Like it's not like that. But like when I start seeing like leprechauns and stuff like that, that's what I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, yeah, no, I totally like. I didn't like Star Wars, I'm not into Star Trek, like none of that world. Like what was that other one?
Although no offense to those people, for those of you that are watching, we understand it's a huge market, and we respect the fact that you like it. It's just,
just not for me.
Yes,
like,
it's just not for me.
What was the other one? Like, there was like 5 of them, the whole series, movies. You know what I mean? It was
Star
like,
Wars?
No, not Star Wars. It
Lord
was recent. Lord of the Rings. Like, I never watched any of that. So.
Yeah.
But this Game of Thrones really, really caught me, and like, I was psyched for the new episode. And they started off with a bang. It was really cool scene. So it should be a good season,
I think you offended Cuse.
Oh, man.
Talk about no Star Wars.
It's just my own preference, it's just me.
We respect it. We do. We respect the hustle. We do. We promise.
Trust me, I watch Murder Mystery all day because that's what my girl watches,
Yeah.
That's all I watch.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. You ready to talk about the slate?
Yeah, dude.
All right.
It's actually an awesome slate because it's ugly.
Yeah.
Like you can set yourself apart. There's no like mega chalk. You gotta like decide, am I going with it or fading it? It's it's wide open. It's a really, really good slate.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you there. First game we got Andrew Cashner of the Texas Rangers visiting Chris Tillman of the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah. What we got for over-under in this game? It's got to be high, right?
High. I think it's over 10, 10, at least 10. It might be higher than that.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Well, Chris Tillman, he's been getting crushed all year. I sent some of the guys like an article on him showing like his different release points from last year to this, and his velocity's down like 2.9. No. Tillman. 2.4 home runs per 9 over the last 30 days. So, definitely a guy we want to target with the Rangers bats in that ballpark. And, Cashner too, he's pitched around a lot of the season without getting blown up, but I think this is a spot that he could get blown up. So I'm interested in both of these offenses. Baltimore seems to be waking up, not fully, but I think guys like Machado and Adam Jones would be interesting for me. And Chris Davis just came back off the DL. That's a bat that, can always double dong. So Trumbo Davis, Scope, Machado, and Rangers, Beltre, and Odor would be like my most interesting guys, but both those lineups are definitely like all in play, like throughout the entire lineup.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, I agree with you 100%. This is not a place that like we're all for getting like contrarian with the pitchers because as we're gonna talk about once we get across some of these games, there's pretty much a few guys that you already know are gonna take like collectively, they're all gonna take most of the ownership, like a significant amount. But even with that
Yeah.
said, this is not a place where I think I want to go. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
not
so
here.
just to put it in a nice way. And the one thing I'll say about Cashner, I still like Baltimore. Don't get me wrong, but like I have tried to just go after this guy, and like once in a while he will get blown up. You just expect it to happen way more than it does. Like his numbers are not impressive. No strikeout rate is like I can't explain why they can't guys have a hard time getting to him. But eventually you got to think that's going to start running out, and he's going to start
He,
you know
yeah,
coming to
dude,
what he is.
he's got a .216 BABIP.
Right.
Like that ain't staying there.
Yeah.
Like that's like
Well, there you
Clayton
go.
Kershaw numbers. Like
Yeah.
that means regression is extremely
Yeah.
probable. And a 55% left strand rate. Like those are two like incredible numbers that are not going to stay. With the low strikeout rate and how much hard contact he's giving up and stuff. So for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And this could be the spot. He could get blown up here
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Why not Baltimore? It's interesting because, like you mentioned before, when you were telling me your thoughts on the slate before the show, you were saying that like there's a lot of these bats look good. So it's like,
Hmm.
why would it? Well, people might not want to go to this team, the Baltimore, right away because there's other options, and it's like they've been cold, they haven't really been doing much, and like eventually these guys, like, listen, these guys are the same guys from last year. Eventually they're gonna start hitting. Machado, Jones is starting to get going, like Trumbo's starting to get going. These guys are gonna start
Yeah,
getting consistent soon. They're gonna start hitting. You know what I mean?
and I think Davis coming back is going to give
Yes.
them a huge
Yes. Big
boost.
spark in the lineup for sure. He definitely protects a lot of those guys.
Yeah, and he's like the only lefty bat. So like, he's the only guy when he's out. They're all righties, so they're kind of like one dimensional.
Yeah.
But the over-under right now is 11. Baltimore's projected for
Yeah.
5.6 and Texas for 5.4. So I don't think that it's going to be sneaky by any means.
Right.
But yeah, as you'll see, there's tons of bad pitching on this
And
slate
it's a
and
course
tons of
slate too.
offensive.
It's also a course slate.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't expect this to be the chalk by any
Right.
means, and could be the spot. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see as we get through
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. We definitely have a bad pulpit on Texas, and like you said, Tillman's been terrible. He's just been getting rocked. So just to touch on him, I agree with you on Tillman. He's just his xOBIT to lefties is 408 this year. xOBIT to righties 335. That's not very good either. Hard
Yeah,
contact, so, hard contact rate to righties is 37.86%. I'm seeing over 30% to lefties too. So yeah, I'm with you. Bats in this game all around. Oh, also, Paulie, something that you always like to talk about. 85 degrees. I'm seeing about 60% humidity out there.
yeah. 70 dew points, right? Or what's the dew points? You got
No,
that?
I don't. But
No, it's not. It's not this game that's got the high ones.
no,
But
no,
yeah,
no.
big humidity, 62 degree dew points. But yeah, definitely a good offensive environment, and wind blown out, not that strong
Yeah,
still.
for sure. All right, we got Brent Suter, the lefty from the Milwaukee Brewers, visiting Chad Cole of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I have no idea who this Brent Suter is. You?
Yeah. This is probably like his fourth start. He pitched very well against the Yankees his last start. And he's a lefty. He came in and I think he had like a shutout through five, bunch of Ks, and he pitched well the start before that. Both these pitchers are definitely in play. Chad Cole, especially, I'm interested in, which is crazy. Like 2 months ago, he was like my most targeted gas can, but you really like he's very good against righties and he gets beat up by lefties, but he's been improving. And with Milwaukee, besides Sean, Eric Thames, maybe Steve Vogt if he gets to start, the rest are all righties. So, in this big ballpark, this could be a decent spot for Cole. And as you'll see, there's not a ton of options, so you gotta like widen, your expectations a little bit. So both these guys are in play, and I'm not really interested in many of the bats. Like I could get a Travis Shaw one off or a Thames one off against Cole if you wanted to do that. but I'm not really looking. There's way better spots all over the slate for bats. So these are two pitchers that I'm going to be considering, and Cole, like he might be in my top three right now.
Yeah, man. You know what's interesting about Cole is like we've known all year about targeting lefties against him. I'm looking at our model right now up on the Wise Take site, obviously. What's interesting now? These are on this lefty. His xOBA to lefties is actually 287, while his xOBA to righties is 340. So
For how long? Like the last 30 days, the full
for this
season?
season.
Okay,
For
so
this season.
they're projecting him to improve.
Right. So that's interesting because you just mentioned that he's been playing better and getting better. Now his hard contact rate is 35.2% of lefties. So he's getting hit hard. But I think like when you consider the launch angles and et cetera, everything that goes into like a well out hit, maybe he hasn't been as bad as he seemed. And so it could, it's just odd to me. And at the same time, you could also, if you don't like Cole in this spot, you could also look towards maybe shifting towards righties because everybody's got it embedded in their mind to take lefties. When I'm seeing his xOBA to righties is actually 340. So we could start to see a shift to where he starts doing better against these lefties and a little worse against the righties. It's possible. I'm not saying, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. But it's interesting because he's been pitching better. That's something that we know. Like he hasn't been getting like destroyed like he was early in the season, right?
Yep, and Milwaukee strikes out a lot, and he's got good stuff. He throws like 97, 98.
Mm-hmm.
So like he could, if he's on and Milwaukee struggles, he's a guy who could go 6, 7 innings, 8 Ks, get the win. Like he's got that potential.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm checking out his splits over like just the last month, and they're really not like that wide. Lefties have a 388 WOBA in the last 30 days. That's pretty good. They've hit 6 home runs, and the righties in the last 30 days have a 307 WOBA. So still, what he's done is lefties are still hitting them, but like you said, the righties are catching up, and the XO was saying, that maybe it's the righties, but I don't think we want the bats. Maybe on another slate against them.
Right.
There's just better spots.
Yeah. I do think I'm with you there. And listen, like again, ask us tomorrow after we've done a little more research. But yeah, I wouldn't be. I'm looking on a slate like this and just knowing that there's a few guys taking all the ownership, and that in tournaments you're gonna have to take shots on some of these uglier guys. Yeah, I would throw them in the pool because a lot of the time we always talk about it, Paulie, is sometimes you got to play the opponent. Like it's not necessarily a play on Cole; it's more so a play against Milwaukee in this huge ballpark. They play in a small ballpark. They're coming to one of the largest ones in the game. So it makes
baseball.
a difference.
Yeah.
They play mostly indoors because they always close their roof, and now they're going to be playing outdoors. And I think there's going to be some light rain possibly. So nothing crazy.
And Vegas has Milwaukee at 4.3.
It's not that high.
It's not terrible.
No, not, from what we've been seeing lately, with the weather, the freaking over-unders have been through the roof. So, that's pretty low. So, that's interesting, Paulie. It's a great point, man. I would love to see Suter against Milwaukee. That would have been nice, right? Suter, if we could get a Suter flop, that'd be cool. Anyway, we got Jared Eichhoff of the Philadelphia Phillies visiting Tom Koehler of the Miami Marlins. That's the local team for Paulie.
The Marlins. I'm like shocked at this line. 9 over under, Miami projected at 4.96 and Philly at 4.04. Tom Koehler had been getting banged around like all season. So I'm a little surprised that Philly's only projected at 4 runs, but maybe that's more to do with how bad the Phillies offense is and not what Kohler's done all season. I am like a little like unsure on this spot right now. That line really like surprised me. I hadn't looked at it. I was confused.
I just looked at it and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like,
I was gonna say like some of these Philly lefties could be interesting, especially if you're targeting one of the expensive pitchers on the slate. They offer salary relief. But Miami is a big ballpark. That's probably what's playing into some of this. And I don't know. I definitely don't want Eichhoff. Koehler, probably not as well. I don't think I'd want any of these two pitchers. And like I said, I can get behind some of these Philly guys, like a contrarian cheap stack to go along with like Coors or something. And I like Stanton a lot tomorrow against Eichhoff. Like usually we pick on Eichhoff with lefties, but Stanton has had a decent career against him already to this point. And I think the Marlins have continued to be hot. They kind of got beat up by the Dodgers this weekend, so I think they're going to look to right the ship against this weaker team. So I have some interest in some of the Marlins bats.
Yeah, man, for sure. I think the bets are very interesting here. It's another situation where it's a larger ballpark. We get it, but like everybody's thinking the same thing. It's a larger ballpark. I don't want to play hitters in this park, and it's the same thing. Like if it wasn't for the matchup in Pittsburgh, then I would have considered that Pittsburgh game. I just don't like the matchup there for the bets. But in this this is just as good. You got Miami, another pitcher's park. People don't like to play the Phillies as it is. They're not going to want to play them in Miami. And Tom Koehler's numbers, I mean, this year, like you said, I know we don't have a large sample this year because he's been hurt. But, dude, he's been bad. Like, his xOBIT to lefties, 430. To righties.
Yeah, lefties have been crushing him.
To righties, 366, which is, like, horrible still. So, I'm with you, man. I think Koehler, I mean, even his exit velocity, his average exit velocity given up to righties is 88.2. This is average, like to lefties, 87.7. So I'm with you, man. Like I understand. I wouldn't be surprised to see this number kind of go the other way a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if by the time the games start, Philly's projected for a little bit more. Because I mean, this guy Koehler's bad, and the bullpen's bad too. So it's like what? Like I'm with you. I don't want to stand like where this line is. I'm not questioning them. They know what they're doing. Maybe they're just trying to lure a certain percentage of bets their way or something, but. Because that's things that they consider that we don't care about, but they consider that stuff. So
right.
So yeah, I'm with you though, man. That seems fishy there. No pun intended after I said it, I was like, oh, that was corny. And I was like, ooh, didn't even whatever. All right, but I'm with you, bro. Marcus Stroman of the Toronto Blue Jays visiting Eduardo Rodriguez of the Boston Red Sox.
I like the kid Rodriguez a lot, but this is his first start since coming off the DL, so I'm not gonna go to him against the Blue Jays, who have definitely warmed up. So Rodriguez is definitely a pass, but he's an arm to keep an eye on, and we will be using him in other spots down the road. And Stroman is definitely a guy I'll be considering. Definitely got to keep an eye on like how popular he's going to be tomorrow. Like. He's one of the better arms on the slate, but it is against Boston. People don't like targeting pitchers against Boston. They don't strike out, so I can understand it from that perspective. But Boston's not like a great offense this year. So, I think the sharper players are picking on Boston with pitchers in certain spots. So, Stroman definitely, he's a above average pitcher. And stadium's not favorable, but again on this slate, there's just not a ton of great options. So we're gonna have to consider him here. We'll see. Boston put out a pretty bad lineup in the first game of the doubleheader today. They had rookie first baseman and Chris Young batting fourth, and the rookie first baseman, his name's like Sam Travis, batting fifth. Like those two guys in the lineup could add, 4 or 5 strikeouts, that usually aren't there. So we got to take a look at Boston's lineup tomorrow. They played a doubleheader today, so they may give somebody some rest. And, Stroman is definitely on consideration. And with Eduardo Rodriguez coming off the DL, I think, a Toronto stack has to be in consideration. Like we see guys get bombed when they come off the DL too early. They're just not ready yet. And guys like Donaldson, Smoke, Morales, Bautista, Martin, they've been hitting lately. So in this ballpark, I think it's something we got to consider for sure.
Yeah, man, I totally get it. Super high over and under. Of course, we know that a lot of times we see inflated totals in the AL East because you have a couple ballparks that are more hitters ballparks, and let's face it, the AL East has always been known for offense. Like one of the reasons people like to watch the Yankees and Red Sox, for instance, like just as from a fan's perspective. Yeah, you had good pitchers. You had Pedro Martinez. You had some greats, but you also had some great hitters, and you had some great hitting and home runs and walk-off home runs. And So sometimes, we know they play off perception, so we could be seeing it a little inflated. But either way, I'm with you. I don't want to play Rodriguez in his first start back. I just don't think you have to. And on top of that, Toronto's
Yeah.
really not striking out that much either this year. They're really not.
Yep. They're not. They're
Both
not.
of these offenses have been disappointing relatively this year. More so the Red Sox because we've had high expectations. But Toronto's been extremely disappointing too. They let go of Saunders. They let him go to the Phillies. They let go of Pierce. And these are guys that are like doing better. Or wait. Not Pierce. Who is the guy?
Not Pierce.
They got rid of Saunders and somebody else that were like two like decent. They were like platoon players for him, but they did well when they played. I can't think of the other guy, but either way. So yeah, man, like you said, I personally don't like anything from this. Like I look at it and I'm just like, I don't want to play Rodriguez. I would consider him if he was a little more established this year. Stroman has great xOBA numbers, and like he's a guy that doesn't typically get rocked all that much, but he's also, like you said, the Red Sox don't strike out a ton, and so it's like they both have decent bullpens too. It's not like you're dying to pick on either. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I see these high totals. I feel like people are going to try to go there in some facet. Now the point you made that I do like though, is if I was going to attack anybody here, it's definitely Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Because like you said, one, you got a whole lineup of righties, and two, it's his first start back. So if he's not ready, this is gonna be the time where you want to pick on him. So
yeah, and we saw Bautista, Smoke, and Morales all homer today.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like like they got power, and Donaldson's been really heating up.
Yeah.
Martin smashes lefties. If that scenario plays out, you in Boston Stadium, you could see all these guys, have big games and it work out as a stack.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we were saying about the Orioles. Like listen, these guys can hit home runs. Like they're big power. They're not hitting well maybe this season, but eventually, like these guys can hit.
Exactly.
Regardless of all that you hear on Twitter about overrated regardless of who's overrated and who's not, they can still hit. It's like
right. It's not like the Phillies where maybe one or two guys will hit a home run, but like all these guys could hit home runs and multiple ones in the same game.
Exactly, 100%. All right, we got Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals visiting Zach Wheeler of my New York Mets.
Adam Wainwright, man. I've gotten him so wrong a few times, and then I've gotten him so right. I think we've identified like on the road against lefties is a spot where you do pick on them. That's what the Mets have. The Mets bats seem to be coming around. Even in the blowout today, like as Drubel homered and Jay Bruce was like 3 for 4. Jay Bruce had double dong the other night. Conforto's back. This lineup's getting healthier. I think the Mets could be an interesting lone stack. And like they either hit home runs or don't do anything. So like it's similar to Toronto where if you hit it right, you're going to get a lot of power and a lot of points. Zach Wheeler's been getting blown up. Last 30 days, he's given up three home runs per 9, which is just astronomical. So, even though St. Louis has a 4.4, implied total, I think they're another very contrarian low stack that you got to consider. Matt Carpenter, Dexter Fowler, lefties that can hit righties, and then Tommy Pham has been amazing this year, and Jay Gayorko hits righties really well. Like a 1 through 4 stack would be low owned and definitely in play here. No interest in these pitchers, and I could definitely warm up a lot to either one of these two teams, and we'll see, but they're definitely in play.
Yeah, 100% with you on the offense here. I definitely you hit it on the head with Wainwright, man. I'm just gonna read off some stats for our listeners here about our boy Waino. Is that what they call him, Waino?
Yeah, Waino.
Right, cool. I thought I made that up for. I was like, did I make that up? Anyway, so like you were mentioning, his WHIP. Now the WHIP is split that we have on our model. So what is he on the road? On the road, his WHIP is 1.83 this year.
Yeah,
almost
that's bad.
2 for Adam Wainwright, dude. And his home and away, his xOBA home and away differential is 3.9%, almost 4%. He's almost 4% worse on the road than he is at home. That's pretty significant. That's like a big number. And his xOBA to lefties, 352, man. Like it's like I'm with you, man. I love the Mets lefties here. They're very, like you said, they're boom or bust. They're either gonna hit you home runs or they're all gonna just do nothing and they're not gonna strike out either. So I definitely don't like Wainwright regardless. And
Yeah.
as far as Wheeler, you mentioned lefties are really crushing this guy. Now, the only thing I'll say is there's not too many lefties on the Cardinals. Now, the ones they have are pretty good. I'm not dying to pick on Fowler, even though he's having a rough season, or Carpenter.
Hmm.
But like you mentioned, with the way the slate is, he's 7-8 on FanDuel. Let's say he could be an option. I got to look in. I'm a little concerned with the fact that the Cardinals don't strike out a bunch, but you can almost see him get you a quality start. And what you're really hoping when you're fading those top tier guys is you're just hoping that they bust. You're not
Yeah, for
necessarily
sure.
looking for a 50 from Wheeler. You're just hoping that he gets you a 30-35, and so does McCullers,
Right.
and so does
Yep.
Lester, and so does the other guys. So it's
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
maybe. It's like a maybe.
big ballpark,
Right.
but the
It's
recent
probably
numbers
not. It's
are scary.
Yeah. It's a probably not,
Yep.
but maybe.
I don't think so, but more towards the probably not. But yeah, I can understand what you mean. He's supposed to be good. He does throw fast.
Yeah.
It's
like what we were saying about some of those offenses that are struggling, and we're trying to apply it to a pitcher, but it's not nearly as attractive. It's not. It sounds way worse. You're just trying it on hitters, sure, why not? Trying it on a pitcher's
One thing to note though is on FanDuel, Matt Carpenter got bumped to second base,
Yes.
which is just amazing.
That is great. Oh man.
Yeah, second base is a tough position. There's not a ton of guys in a smaller slate. Sometimes your options are just very limited. And first base, it's hard to go Carpenter because there's so many other guys with
he doesn't have the upside
double
for
down
first
upside.
baseman.
Exactly, but at second, I love that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's how it was last year. I don't know why they did that this year. I guess he had to play first because of injuries, but that just sucked.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. We got Jon Lester, the lefty from the Chicago Cubs, visiting Julio Teheran of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I'm just shocked at this over under. Atlanta has just been, a Coors Light, and Freeman's back. Tehran has been awful this year. I know he pitched well his last start, but every other one was terrible. And Lester got bombed his last start as well. He can't hold runners on, so there's potential for this game to blow up. And it's humid. We got 70-degree dew points. I like that a lot. And both these teams have really been playing well. This is actually an awesome series because Chicago Cubs came blowing out the gates after the All-Star break. They've been on fire this weekend. And, the Braves sneakily just got to 500, and they're, going to make a run at the wild card. They got Freeman back earlier than expected. That trade for Adams has really paid off. And, I believe that they swept this weekend. And I know they got to 500. And, so both these teams are coming in, on the upswing. So it'll be an interesting series. So, I expect more runs. I think both these are a little low. And I'm interested in bats. Neither of these pitchers. I like both these lineups.
Oh yeah, man. And this has nothing to do with Lester and the fact that he got bombed in his last start. I just don't like taking any pitchers against these Braves, man. These guys, we watched them tattoo Scherzer and Strasburg back to back, man.
Yep.
I'm not trying to mess with these guys. And not even at home. They did it in the Nationals Park.
In Washington. I know. And they don't strike out much.
Right,
and,
right.
Freeman's back.
I'm not saying that I love the Atlanta offense because I do the hitters that we like to take are typically their lefties. You like to take the Adams. Don't get me wrong. Suzuki against lefties is always interesting, and Kemp. You always got those two guys. Even Phillips gets into the mix. He's been hitting better.
Yeah, Phillips. He was on fire this weekend. So he's a real streaky guy.
Yeah.
So. He's low cost and definitely interesting.
Yeah,
definitely
and Lester is one of those guys of the three that we were talking about that he's going to be in that pool, that 70-80% ownership pool. He will.
Yep.
And
definitely.
So I'm with you, man. And as far as the Cubs, it's hard not to like the Cubs against Teheran. He's been so bad at home. 441 xOBA to lefties, Paulie.
Lefties bomb this guy. I know. Anthony Rizzo, Zobrist, even Jason Hayward returning to Atlanta. He's been hitting. I
Yeah,
really like
Hap,
the Cubs spot.
Schwarber. Oh yeah, man. These
Yeah.
guys are just gonna just completely ruin this kid. And
Yep.
it's business, I guess. But like, hey, man, Tehran was supposed to be one of their young big guys, and they made a choice. They said Freddie Freeman is worth way more to us than you, and it was the right choice because they're right. But man, this ballpark has
Oh no,
totally screwed
you
Toronto.
mean Hayward? You mean Hayward? Oh no, Tehran. Oh right. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like
You see what I'm
they were
saying?
like, yeah, we're gonna make the
Yeah.
stadium hitters
We're
ballpark, so
catering
it's
to
gonna be
Freddie
tough.
Freeman, and that's
Yeah.
literally going against you because you're a right-handed pitcher. So
Yeah.
good luck. It's just like, hey man, business is business.
Yep. For sure.
All right, man. We got Ariel Miranda, the lefty from the Seattle Mariners, visiting Lance McCullers of the Houston Astros.
Interesting. So this
He
game
said,
has an so we got a 9 over under. McCullers is a -205 favorite, and Seattle has a 3.6 implied total, and Houston has a 5.38 implied total. Now, McCullers is definitely going to be chalk on this slate. With the -205 favorite, and just strikeout upside that he has, it's definitely going to be the chalk. And you know, right now, I like him, but I'm going to be trying to convince myself that it's a good idea to fade him all day and all up and through lock. Check us out in the pre-lock show tomorrow and see what the final verdict is. But he's got to be like 40 to 50% owned on this slate tomorrow. So my mind goes to like we got to fade that.
yeah.
And Seattle's been hot. They had a very good offensive series against the White Sox. Kyle Seager's been hitting. Nelson Cruz, I think, homered in every game, at least the last two for sure. Robinson Cano's been hitting. Gene Segura, I could see them getting to McCullers. Like McCullers, the one thing about him is he doesn't really go deep that often. His pitch counts usually get up.
Mm-hmm.
He strikes out a lot of guys, but he's trying to get them to swing out of the zone. So if the team's a little bit patient, he gets a lot of full counts. And Houston's got a great bullpen, and they usually got huge leads. So, they take him out and preserve the young kid's arm and just turn it over the bullpen. So, like you could see him just get like 6 innings, 8 or 9 strikeouts, give up like 2 runs. That's not a great performance. Like that could happen. So, I like them. I won't be picking on him with any Seattle bats. And Miranda, he's interesting. Like he's got great stuff, but when he gets hit, he gives up the long ball. Let's take a look how he's been doing lately. Last 30 days. Miranda, where are you, my friend? Huh. Has he pitched lately? Oh, here he is. 536 Sierra, 544 XFIP, 2 home runs per 9. Ks per 9 is 5. He has not been pitching very well. Hard contact's only 27%, which is interesting. 51% fly balls. So, Houston's just on fire, and there's just no way I'd go to him. Houston could be interesting here. Like this kid gives up the long ball. I don't believe Seattle has a very good bullpen behind him. And, like we've seen this team score over 15 runs like 3 times in their last like 10 games. If they're not going to be popular, I like some of these guys. Altuve's really breaking out. Springer's he's like an MVP candidate. Gaddis has really been coming around. Marwin Gonzalez, Gurriel. Like this lineup's dangerous, and we'll have to see what the popularity is tomorrow. If it, like they're really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to be pairing that stack with McCullers. So, we'll see if they're going to be low owned like they have been in a few spots. That they could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I wonder what people's mindset is going to be with Coors, because they have a choice, right? Like the Padres. That's the thing. It's the Padres and the Rockies. So are they just going to do the Rockies and the Astros and just say screw the Padres, or are they going to find another team and kind of ignore the? It's hard to say because I think Miranda is like, we like to target against him sometimes, but sometimes he's not so bad. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe people aren't darned at. They have been red hot. The Astros have been red hot.
Yeah.
And
crazy hot.
So I don't think people are going to ignore that. But it's interesting because I think McCullers will most certainly be chalk. And, like, McCullers, I think in cash games, like, I think it's easy. It's fine. And it's okay if he busts because if he only puts up 30, guess what? 80% of your 50-50s probably have him. So it's not that big a deal in cash. And his numbers are so impressive at home. He's been significantly better at home this year. But still, he like you said, he doesn't go that far into games. So it's like if you know McCullers is going to be chalk in tournaments, like your first thought is to fade him. And he's got the best numbers. Like he's going to be on like everybody's top model by far. No matter what site you go to, he's going to be ranked at the highest because he's got the best numbers. But
yeah, I mean he's a great pitcher. Like he might be in the top like 7 in the American League,
he's
and
good.
you know, like in 2 years he might be higher than that.
Yeah, he just has to figure out how to like not throw those balls. He's not walking too many necessarily. He's just getting too many full counts. It's too many full counts.
Pitch count. It's pitch count, exactly.
So it's like if he could figure that out and get the strikeouts quicker, forget about it. It's just like you said, for now, for DFS purposes, like Seattle's a team that could nag at you. They got these lefties like Gamble, even Segura. They'll nag at you with foul balls all day. And so if he's only going to go 5 innings, then what's his ceiling at that point?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So I definitely think that there is merit to tournament fading him. I think in cash, and like, you know, we'll see what Patio Joe writes tomorrow, but on the premium article. But yeah, I think in cash, McCullers is, in my opinion, he stands out by far, and like you just feel comfortable with that, and feel comfortable with the fact that everybody's going to own him in your 50-50s and double up. So even if he busts, it's not going to be a big deal. You'll have like a similar lineup built to most of the field, which in cash games is okay because you're just trying to keep up with the pack. But in tournaments, man, I think I'm with you. I think you almost like we'll see tomorrow, like you said. I like the live stream plugs. Our subscribers will get an opportunity to get into the premium show and see. But it's interesting because as of right now, the stance would have to be like if he stands out as the guy that's going to be popular. I mean, a guy like McCullers, you know, he's got to be a fan.
I mean, yeah, he's got, and you know, it's a plug, but it's not a plug. Like, you know, like honestly, you know, no one knows where they're going the night before.
Right,
like,
you know, it's
just you just there's so many variables
and
factors that come into play.
Of course,
you know, like umpires we don't know right now because these are all new series. So you know, like there's a lot of things that can happen, but he's for sure going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate. There's no way he's not.
Yeah, and like listen, if it's a Scherzer or something like that, then maybe you have to consider playing him. But a guy like McCullers, he's not a lock to go 6 innings. He's not a lock to get you a quality start.
Right, and against Seattle, you know, like they have some lefties that can hit him. Like you know, you want to attack McCullers lefties, and they've got a bunch of guys that are like, you know, like scrappy kind of, like, you know, like Gamble and Seager and Cano.
I think he homered 2 games in a row, Seager.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I mean, right now for me, it's an absolute fade in tournaments, and like, you know, like not even like I'm scared fade, like, you know, when you fade Scherzer, like
you're definitely scared when you do.
You know,
Scherzer fade is scary,
yeah. Like I don't see McCullers dropping a 60 tomorrow. Like, you know, I think 50 is probably his ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. And like if you're getting a discount and you're getting somebody else who's way cheaper and lets you get whatever bat you want, and you only and he puts up a 35 or 40, or even like a 45, like you're not that far out. You're not really missing out on that much. You can make that up with the bats, you know.
For sure.
So
you know, I mean, I just can't believe he's 9,100. Like, FanDuel has been terrible with their pricing lately. Like,
it is.
They're just making it so easy to fit the best pitcher with the best stacks,
whatever hitters
every slate. It's so annoying.
And that's why a lot of the times on FanDuel, you're better off leaving salary on the table. Like on DraftKings, it's way harder to do that, and so I wouldn't even try. But on FanDuel, there's some times where I'll leave like a 500, 600, 700 on there, just because nobody's gonna have this build because everybody's afraid to leave money on the table. So it's
absolutely. Like, I'm fine with up to like 1,000 in baseball. You know, leaving cash on the table, and like you said, like that's how I make myself contrarian. Like, you know, I know that no one's gonna have that build. And you know, like there's like you don't need to max out your dollars. Like, you know, 5 guys at 2,700 could put up 30s. You know, like it's not a sport where it's like every point per dollar matters.
Yeah, you can't assume it. Like you said, a point per dollar. It's not like basketball. You can't assume that you're going to get what you're paying for. Like you don't know.
Yep.
All right, man. We got Brian Mitchell of Paulie's New York Yankees visiting Adalberto Mejia, the lefty from the Minnesota Twins.
Man, I don't know anything about this Brian Mitchell kid.
Yeah,
I believe this is his major league debut. Let me see what
wasn't he
he's.
supposed to pitch the other day, and then they ended up pitching Montgomery instead? They called him up instead or something like that. Because I thought I saw his name floating around a couple days ago, and he ended up not going.
You know, it's funny because I actually had a different pitcher for this game. I had a Caleb something um, on where did I get that? Oh, from Roto Grinders. They have the Yankees. I think it's Caleb Smith. Yeah, Caleb Smith. He was a left-hander. And where are you seeing Brian Mitchell?
Oh, on the I'm sorry, Patio Joe's in the chat. He just had this big like entrance, and I'm like, he made me laugh. What'd you say?
I said that Roto Grinders has Caleb Smith as the Yankees
Oh, I'm
pitcher.
looking at Labs.
Okay.
Yeah, Labs has Brian Mitchell.
And FanDuel right now, I think, has Luis Sessa.
Oh, nice. All
Nice,
right.
nice.
So we have
Um,
no idea who's
that's
pitching
tough.
tomorrow then.
Yeah, we really don't, and we don't know anything about all three of
They're
those
all three
options.
guys that we don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
so interesting.
interesting. Interesting.
Well, the Twins have been pretty cold, but they're like another team that can like BABIP you to death. They don't have a ton of power outside of Sano and like, maybe Dozier or Kepler. So like, again, it's check with us tomorrow. I got to research whoever ends up being the starter and then, what type of pitcher they are. Like maybe if it's this lefty Caleb Smith, like Dozier and Sano will be interesting, but there's probably better spots on this slate that I don't really want any Twins. And the Yankees, man, like they've been pretty cold. I don't know when's the last time like they've gone off and won somebody the slate, you know. So Alberto Mejia has strikeout upside. Let's see what he's done his last 30 days. I know we recommended him one weekend and he didn't go nuts, but he paid off. Let's see how he is done because he's definitely got strikeout upside. And the Yankees, they're still a little banged up. Like they just came off a doubleheader. They might have a bad lineup in there where he's got, 8 to 10 strikeout potential. Could be an interesting spot to pitch at Alberto Mejia. I mean, outside of Judge and Sanchez, like there's not many guys that really scare you. So I mean, he hasn't really done great over the last month. He's 31% hard contact, 50% ground ball rate's good, 1.24 home runs per nine. That's not too bad, but 4 walks per nine and 7 Ks per nine with a 4.99 xFIP. Only 2.79 ERA though his last 30 days, and he pitched 30 innings. So the exterior numbers saying like he's going to regress, but he has actually performed decently the last month. Yankees are traveling after doubleheader. He's interesting to me. I'm definitely going to look a little deeper, see what lineup the Yankees put out. The Yankees are getting healthy. We saw Holiday return and Castro. It's he's someone I'm going to consider, but probably will pick a better spot. But like I could see the Yankees getting some ownership, just because you can afford them. And I don't know if they're really like that the best spot on offense. I don't really like any of these offenses. And he is in play and definitely in play as an SB2 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think that I think like Sanchez and Judge specifically on FanDuel especially, they're gonna be mega chalky because like you said, the most expensive pitcher is McCullers, and he's not that
Yeah.
expensive. You could easily make that work. So
Yep.
yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Mejia is not a guy that I typically like to rock. Like I don't ever really look at him. I have not considered him once. I remember when you guys were considering him, and he did okay. Like he didn't kill it, but he didn't get blown up either. So he was like,
Yeah.
it really was on that slate. It wasn't a bad take because the pitching was terrible on that slate. And
Yep.
once again, it's another slate where the pitching is terrible. I just don't know what to expect from this guy. I really don't.
Yeah.
And
So like that game was 2 games ago against the Angels.
right,
He went 7 innings. He gave up 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, got the win and the quality
yeah.
start.
And if he if
So he got 37 points at
and
6,700.
if he got
Like
that for
that.
you now, you'd be happy with that.
Yeah, for
You really
sure.
would.
And I think that was against the Angels. They don't strike out as much as the Yankees
Right.
do.
Good point.
So I think he's definitely in consideration. I hear you. Like, he's a rookie. He's, gotten blown up a few times. He's only had like one excellent start,
Right.
but the potential's there, and you might catch the Yankees a little bit tired, and like emotional series against the Red Sox, the rivals. They split, so they didn't really get anywhere. They're traveling late. It might be a decent spot actually.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm definitely gonna want to dig into more, but it's
Mhm.
interesting for sure. Jordan Zimmerman of the Detroit Tigers visiting Jason Vargas, the lefty from the Kansas City Royals. And Paulie, it looks like it's going to be about 94 degrees on 45%
Wow,
humidity out in Kansas City.
wow. I mean, it's a big ballpark, but traditionally in high temperatures, the ball can travel in this park, and right now, the Tigers are my absolute favorite spot on this entire slate. Like, Vargas, I think he's been pitching way over his head, and he's already been starting to regress his last few starts. And I think this is the spot where he just gets obliterated. I think Upton, JD Martinez, Kinsler, Castellanos has been heating up. James McCann will probably get the start, and he's capable of taking any left-handed pitcher deep. I love the Tigers here, and I don't even think they're going to be popular because they only have a 4.3 implied total. Vegas has given Vargas the respect, and I think it's a mistake. I think this Tigers team is warming up, and they're gonna mash this kid. On the other side, Zimmerman, I would never pitch him. The Royals, like, when do they ever have a 5.2 implied total? That should tell you enough. I think some of these bats are definitely interesting. The Royals are never going to be highly owned, and Mike Moustakas is having like the quietest, amazing season ever. Like, I think he's got 27 homers. He's in the top five. Against the right-hander who gives up home runs, he's definitely in play. Salvador Perez, Lorenzo Cain, and Whit Merrifield's been killing it lately. Like, this is a good game stack, and I'm gonna be all over this spot.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely with you here. I have more interest probably in the Royals. I do. Don't get me wrong. I like some of these guys. Like, I think Martinez is in a really good spot. Upton's been hitting lefties. Castellanos. So I do like the Tigers. I definitely do.
Yeah.
But I love the Royals. And listen, 5.3 projected total, and I still guarantee you they're not chalk. They still won't
No,
be
no
chalk. No
way,
way.
no way, no way.
There's
There's
one
like,
of the highest totals on the board. People aren't going to play him. And you got Zimmerman, who, like, listen, I know he hasn't been getting shelled lately, but his numbers still indicate that he really, truly is bad.
yeah,
So his hard contact to
he is.
lefties is like 42% on the road. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and we know what's behind, of course. We have that dreadful, dreadful Detroit bullpen. Yeah, I'm with you. I like both offenses for sure, but I love
Yep.
the Royals, man. Love the Royals.
So right now they're the fifth highest total on the
Mm-hmm.
slate. So they're not even going to be like
And they're not
the
even in the
top
top.
three.
Right,
So, and we don't have a total yet for the Yankees and Twins game.
right.
So, like, maybe they'll even fall to sixth or seventh.
Yeah.
And they've definitely been hitting much better. Like, they were so cold the first 2 months of this year, and that's why everyone's kind of been writing them off. And at the All Star break, like, I took a look at the standings, which, like, I never like, I just have no like care for anymore. Like, I check what the Yankees are doing, but like so rarely am I like looking at them. I was shocked. Like, they're in the wild card hunt. They're in second place in the Central. So this is a team that, like, they're coming around, they're getting healthy. Like, they got Duffy back at pitcher. Like, I agree. I like them in this spot. They're definitely going to be low owned. No one ever rosters them, and this could be a high scoring game
Yeah, it
actually.
could be a really high scoring game for sure. I'm so
Yep.
sorry. Man. I'm, uh, I'm watching in the chat, and somebody asked, "What what about my team?" And Padres, and then Joe's in there, and Joe's like, "Padres are terrible."
Just shut them down.
Just, yeah, shut her down, Miss Tiffany Jones in
Her
there.
oh
Miss Tiffany Jones in there asking, "What about my Padres?" She's a big Padres fan, and then Joe's just like, "Padres are terrible." It's like,
dude, is this going to be another situation where the chat just like ruins
oh
another
my
girl?
gosh.
Like,
That was ridiculous, man. The things that people
listen,
were saying, animals.
Miss Tiffany Jones, We appreciate you being here. You're always welcome. Hit us up on Twitter. We'll answer any questions you got. We want more women followers. Let us know what we can do. Make this a better place. Bring your friends. You know, and Jesus, chat. You know what? I got to get in this chat and start fixing
Yeah.
things.
Man, Fuego's in there trying to hold it down for us. Joe's in there trying to
Yeah,
hold us
come on,
down,
Fuego.
man. They're in there trying to hold it down, man. They're hanging out in the chat. They're keeping it fun. But we got Cuse in there.
Right,
We got some guys representing in the chat for us, man. Making sure I don't get out of hand, Anyway, Luis Perdomo of the San Diego Padres visiting German Marquez of the Colorado Rockies.
Oof, man, this is interesting. I don't think the Rockies have blown up in Coors many times this year. I think this is a major, major down year for Coors.
Oh, yeah.
I pay a lot of attention to Coors. I have a system where I either play it or fade it, and I can't think of more than one spot where it was supposed to get rained out and it didn't, and the Rockies blew up in that game. But other than that, I don't think they've blown up too much. And Perdomo's he's actually probably going to profile really well. He's a ground ball pitcher, that doesn't give up much hard contact. He's probably going to tell me not to play the Rockies bats. I gotta make sure we gotta see what pitches he throws. But he's a guy who could probably navigate the difficult waters here. And outside of Blackman, there's really no lefty, that we can really pick on him with. So it might not be a spot that we really want the Rockies, and hopefully they are popular. And on the other side, Marquez, he's definitely shown some talent. I don't think recently he's pitched well though. Let's take a quick look. Last 30 days, Marquez. Okay, he's got a 4.76 ERA, 4.9 Sierra, 6.35 Ks per nine. That's decent. 2.78 walks. That's all right. 0.79 home runs. That's excellent. And 41% hard contact though. Ooh.
Damn.
So yeah. Padres actually got a couple runs today. They put up 7 spot off of the Shark, Samardzija. Maybe the Padres is the way to go if you want to play this game. Take some of the left-handers, guys if that catcher Sanchez plays, he's 2,000 on FanDuel today. Maybe his price went up a little bit, but he would be someone in play. He's homered 4 times in 8 games or something like that. He hasn't played very much. Maybe Margot, we've seen him hit him pretty well. Spangenberg hit a home run today. Maybe this would be the way to approach this game. If you want to get a piece of Coors, go the San Diego route. They're never popular. I guarantee you a couple people are going to even pitch Marquez tomorrow. People like to do that in certain spots.
People just love picking on the Padres, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe the Padres a 2-man mini stack that could be interesting, and it's Coors. They could go off.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't like the Rockies. The Rockies have been terrible lately, and today specifically. And I know they did today because the one, they were playing my Mets. 2, I wrote them up. I covered your GPP article today, obviously, and I wrote up the Rockies as one of my stacks. Arenado, LeMahieu, and all that stuff. It was more just because I knew people weren't gonna target Mats, even though he's been bad, because people like Mats and they like to go against him. So it was a good time to take him. Anyway, the point is that now that they did blow up, which they did blow up, and now that they did, it's just too fitting. They're gonna go back home. Now everybody's gonna hop right back on them, and they're gonna go right back to sucking. It just seems like they've been bad. I don't think people realize if they look into the X stats on the model of how bad the Rockies hitters have been lately. It's bad. Arenado is still mashing lefties. Bad. I get it, but the rest of the team is just horrible numbers, just terrible. So I'm with you. I have a lot of love for the Padres here. German at home this year. First of all, his exit velocities, lefties and righties, is both over 90. His hard contact to lefties is 35.9, but to righties is 37.29. This is at home, of course. His xOBA to righties at home 363. So who are the guys you want that you're thinking about playing? Will Myers, maybe Perella, Hedges if he's playing. It's kind of the righties. Those are the guys I like to take anyway. So yeah, I'm with you. I think the Padres are gonna go overlooked. People might try to get cute and take German. And so I'm with you. I think as far as stacks go, I think I'd much rather stack the Padres than the Rockies for sure. And as far as the Rockies, like I would really only be interested in the lefties because Perdomo's been decent against righties anyway. So only like maybe Blackman is like or Cargon if he plays. Those are the only two guys I'd even be remotely interested in. So I'm with you, man. I like the Padres side for sure.
You know what? I said like a mini stack, but actually, if you're gonna play the Padres, it's got to be a full stack.
Right.
And you got to get all that correlation. And if they blow up in cores, you get them at low ownership, and like that's the way to go. Like a one-off is probably not gonna do too much for you, especially like anyone besides like Will Myers is probably the only guy you could really one-off. But if you're gonna take this route, you got to do a full stack and hope that they go off and like no one else does even close to what they do. Like they put up 15 runs.
Yeah, and like listen, man, the Padres have been. Will Myers is having a horrible year. He's been bad lately. Like listen, we know it's the Padres, but it's these kinds of situations. It's these kinds of situations where, especially against a reverse splits guy, when most of their guys that you want to play are right-handed. I'm telling you, in tournaments, I think it's interesting, and I'd be willing to bet that Houston gets more ownership than the Padres do.
Absolutely.
Like the Rockies are going to be the chalk. We know that they went off today. Now they're back in cores. So yeah, Paulie, I think that's a great point, man. I wasn't thinking about the Padres until you started talking, but you're getting me thinking about it. So we'll see how the live stream goes to see what we end up on. But as of right now, you definitely got me interested in the Padres, and I'm not really interested in the Rockies at all.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, we got Jake Odorizzi of the Tampa Bay Rays visiting Daniel Gassett of the Oakland Athletics.
This is such like a weird line too. So they got it's basically a pick'em, like Rays maybe like minus 110, and an 8.5 over under, 4.3 for the Rays, 4.2 for the A's, and Odorizzi has been god awful the last the last 30 days.
He's been ass.
Like worst hard contact on the slate, and his Ks are down, his walks are up, his home runs are way up. Fly ball, 52% fly balls, but that being said, like Oakland strikes out a ton. It's a big ballpark. Like this could be a get right spot for him. This would be his first start, I believe, since the All-Star break. Like all my instincts were saying like we got to attack him, but now that I think about it, this could be a get right spot for him where people are even targeting him. We saw Oakland actually like hit a little bit this weekend. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like I tomorrow I could be like on a full Oakland stack, or this could build some momentum and we run with it. So it's definitely an interesting spot. Like Vegas is saying he's in play, which I'm shocked about. A couple of weird Vegas lines today. So we gotta see the way those move tomorrow and see what kind of lineup and umpires we get. This is definitely like a pivotal spot on this slate. Like one of these offenses could go off. Daniel Gossett, I have no interest in either. But both these teams have a lot of can strike out. Like any other pitcher for Oakland, I probably would consider them. This kid Gossett, he's young and he's been getting beat up. And like Tampa, they strike out a lot or they hit for a ton of power. So, both these offenses could be in play. Odorizzi could be in play. This is a hard one. I'm not going to give a real, decision right now, but this is a spot I'm going to be doing a lot of my research on because I think you could find a lot of gold in here that could lead you to the top.
I'm sorry, man. Joe is.
It's all right.
You know what it is. Joe is texting me, and now I'm. He's texting us, and he's in the chat acting a fool right now. Like, these live shows, for those of you that aren't in the YouTube chat for these free live podcasts that we do on Sunday nights, you are missing out, man. Like, some of the personalities that we have in there are just phenomenal. But going back to what you were saying, I was listening to you though, Paulie. Yes.
What did I say?
You were saying that you don't know. Nah, see, hold up, man. See what you were saying was.
See what had happened.
No, but seriously, I'm with you. Odorizzi's been terrible lately. I think differently though about the Vegas thing. Like to me, I think it's strange that Oakland is even money or a slight favorite over Tampa. Tampa is known as a better team offensively. Odorizzi should be known as a better pitcher than Gassett, and yet like they're giving him the hometown love. I get it. But I'm with you on and I think you were now I realize you were talking about the run projections.
Yeah, I thought those were gonna be higher.
Yeah, 4.3 and 4.3. Okay, I see what you were saying. Yes, now yeah, that's a little weird. It's like the line makes me say don't play Odorizzi, but then the run projections say, well, what the hell then? I'm definitely with you. That's interesting. I still think that I want to pick on Odorizzi because you mentioned he's been terrible lately. He's been particularly bad on the road, and a lot of these righties, like Semion's been batting second. He's back. He's got some power. Chris Davis, he's a guy that can go overlooked, and Odorizzi is still, to this day, a big reverse splits type of guy. Matter of fact, I'm going to check the model right now because I thought I saw something about Odorizzi. Hard contact rate to lefties, 25.93%. Hard contact rate to righties, 45.89%.
Chris Davis with a K is going to be popular tomorrow.
You think he's going to be popular?
Especially in higher stakes. Sharps will be on him.
Sharps will be on him. Yeah. No, I agree with you for that. In higher stakes, yes, he's going to be because I think, like you said, those guys are going to be on it. But in those like lower dollar tournaments where it's more casual, I don't think he'll be all that popular because people would rather play like Ian Desmond. You know what I mean? Because he's in cores.
No, you're
definitely
saying? Right.
So but I do agree with you though as far as the higher stakes. Yeah, if you're playing higher stakes, remember you're playing with guys who are typically a little more. They're pretty good.
Sharp.
Yeah, they're sharp.
Sharp. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. They're sharp, and so Davis is not going to be sneaky in like Paulie's tournaments, but they could be sneaky in like the lower dollar ones. He could be.
Definitely, but like. We saw Porcello, who's been getting crushed, almost like the same kind of tune. He's a reverse splits pitcher. He was Cy Young last year, known as a good pitcher with strikeout upside, giving up tons of hard contact. We saw him pitch really well today. Get one earned run, struck out 7 Yankees, went 6 innings, and the All-Star break tends to fix guys who are struggling. You get that long break. This is in Oakland against a team that strikes out. I'm not I could go either way tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna be all in on one of them. I'm gonna make my a stand and say all right, Odorizzi's gonna get crushed, or all right, Odorizzi's gonna dominate here because this could be a great spot. Say he does pitch really well and gets you 9 strikeouts, goes deep into the game, doesn't give up runs. He's the guy that could win you a tournament as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but that's
possible.
GP life.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If Odorizzi was home, I would full blown be considering him. The only reason that I'm not even considering him right now, even though it's the A's, is because he's really struggled on the road pretty much for his entire career. But it's still a pitcher's park though, so remember that. But if he was at home, and for me, for pitchers, I think it's more of a comfort thing than it is the park. So if he was home against the A's, I would on this slate particularly, if it was McCullers that I know is going to be at the top again, and I would strongly consider Odorizzi. I just don't trust him on the road. That's the only reason. And that could change tomorrow. But that's why I'm not jumping at him right off the bat. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's a good point. And dude, this kid Gossett, these are his last 3 games. He had 16 total FanDuel points, 9 and 3. Right. And he gave up 5 and 5 and 3 earned runs. The Tampa stack could win you a tournament tomorrow as well. Yeah. There's something in this game that is gonna be extremely, extremely beneficial, and we just gotta figure it out.
Yeah, if you could figure it out, exactly. All right, I think it's the last game. We got Josh Tomlin of the Cleveland Indians visiting Matt Moore of the San Francisco Giants. What you got for us, Paulie?
These guys have been doing terrible too, and Matt Moore has been getting blown up lately. He's got a 6.2 ERA, and Tomlin, I don't think, has done much better. 6.14 ERA his last 30.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't have any interest in these pitchers. Both these offenses do not strike out much. I do like taking pitchers in the Giants' park, but not against these two offenses. That being said, I don't think I'll really be targeting these pitchers with these offenses. I'm cool with an Edwin Encarnacion one-off or Carlos Santana. And on the other side, I'd be fine with a Buster Posey or a Brandon Belt one-off. But otherwise, there's just so many better spots on this slate. And if it was other pitchers, we'd probably need to consider them. But, like, I don't ever target Cleveland, like, ever, so I just don't see myself going Matt Moore, even though, like, he's much better at home and does have strikeout upside. But, I mean, like, Cleveland can get real righty, so I don't think Moore's in play. And then Tomlin on the road, I don't see that. And, like, the Giants could, like, slap hit him with a bunch of lefties to death. Like, the over-under says you should consider it, but don't. Like, these guys are not good pitchers. This is, neither of them is going to do very well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want nothing to do with either of these pitchers. I do have a little bit of interest in the Cleveland bats. I know it's a park. I really don't like taking hitters here. And I know it might be kind of a reach, but Matt Moore, he gives up so much hard contact. His average exit velocity to lefties and righties is over 88. So he gets hit hard enough, and I think that, like, for me, like, the only guy, if I'm going to do a one-off, the only guy is who you mentioned, E5. That's the only guy that if I'm going to do a one-off. As far as everybody else, if I'm playing Lindor, Geyer, any of these guys, it's a full-blown stack. Because because of the stadium, you have to respect the fact that home runs are going to be tough. So, like, if you're going to do a one-off, like you said, then, yeah, E5 is one of the guys that has the power. He can get it out in any park.
Yep.
He could do it. It's like taking Mike Stanton in one of these plays. Like, yeah, he could do it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So as far as so I do have interest in them. I'm just concerned about the upside because of the park. But they're going to be low owned. Anytime you can get the Indians, it seems like when the Indians are chalk, they do shit. And then when they're, for some reason, when people don't like to play them is when they go nuts. And, like, it won't even be with home runs. It'll be triples, doubles, singles, stealing bases, this and that. So they're interesting. But like you said, there's just so many better spots with, like, higher ceilings and higher upside that it's really hard to sell yourself on it. And so I think they won't be popular, but, like, I get it. I get why they won't be, for good reason, I should say. Like, you know what I mean?
And on the year, like, Matt Moore, I'm just looking at his splits. I mean, he's faced a ton more righties. Like, the lefties, a small sample size. He's faced 124 left-handed batters, and they have a 481 WOBA.
Yeah,
almost 500.
He's been terrible to lefties, which is strange, dude. Like, Brantley is just staring at me over there. It's just
like, if you're stacking it, definitely include Brantley in your stack. Like, I would go probably like Lindor, Brantley, E5, and Ramirez.
Yes, Ramirez.
I think that's how I'd stack this.
Yeah.
I really like Ramirez. After Moore, like, Ramirez does everything. He's hitting for power. He steals bases. Like, he's the full threat. Like,
Brent Suter too. So he's got the platoon either way. It's like,
he's dude. Really like. Yep.
And at 4K, he's 4K. Nobody's playing him.
Yeah, no one wants to pay him. No. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's doing it.
No one wants to pay 4K.
No. You got Arenado. You got all these other guys.
Yeah.
No.
Travis Shaw. Like,
Yeah, that's a great call. Nobody's gonna be on him, and he's been phenomenal. And people don't even talk about him. Like, he's been playing so good lately, and nobody says a word about the guy.
Yep.
It's funny. Hey, man, that was a lot of fun, man. It's been a while since we had just me and you on a show. It feels like it anyway. Oh, you know what it is? Because we had a week off. Dude. It's been a while since we had a show.
It's been a while since we had a show. But, yeah, I mean, we do the, the pregame lock. Like, I haven't done a night show. I think last Sunday was the last one I did.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, the return. But, yeah,
the return.
Definitely.
I like that. The return. I'm going to rename it that. The return. That's cool. You play some Dong Watch, bro?
Sure, dude.
All right, guys. If you have any questions while we're playing this, go ahead and write them in. We'll answer a few. Obviously, me and Paulie talked a lot, so we went a little longer. But if you have questions, we'll answer them. But we're gonna play Dong Watch while you guys think of those. So Paulie, let's do the 4K, 3K, 2K.
4K, 3K, 2K. All right.
Yeah, 4-3. Yeah, I said that right. I was like, did I say that right?
No, you nailed it. You nailed it.
That's right. Fake it till you make it, bro.
All right. That's right.
All right, man.
So it's above 4K.
Yeah, 4K or higher, yeah.
Above 4K on this slate. It's
almost hard to do it.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mike Stanton. I said that earlier. I think he's definitely gonna go deep tomorrow. Mike Stanton.
I like that. I like Stanton for sure. He's another one of those guys, man. He's got the power. So, like, no matter what situation he is in,
like He-Man.
Like He-Man, bro. He's like He-Man.
He's got the power.
He's got the power, man. I'm going with Rizzo, man. Give me some Rizzo against Iran.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Cubs are going to be pretty chalky
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I definitely think so because like people have been waiting to play
Can
them.
afford them, and they've been going off.
Yeah, and they've been finally going off without anybody on them. That stops. Like people are gonna jump on them now.
Yeah.
All right, 3K.
3K. Oh, my boy JD Martinez.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's a good one. I like that. It's funny because I already wrote my guy down, and you happen to pick a guy from the same game, not the same team, but the same game. I'm going with Moustakas.
Moustakas, good call, dude.
I'm going with the Moose.
I like that a lot. Like, we talked about third base. There's a ton of options, and there really are.
Yeah.
Like Freddie Freeman, Sano, Chris Bryant, Travis Shaw, Arenado and Coors, Donaldson, Machado. Nobody's gonna have Moustakas. He's definitely a great play tomorrow.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And I think that I got distracted again by the chat. Oh, go ahead, 2K, go ahead.
Don't even worry about it.
No, I'm with you though. It's Moustakas.
Yeah,
I remember what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is, like you said, because there's so many third basemen to pay up for. Anybody that's like under a certain price is just not gonna get pulled. Like people are just not gonna pay down at third base because they don't have to, and like you want to pay up at third, so they will. So I think that's a great point. All right, 2K, brother, what you got here? They're talking about you in the chat, by the way. That's the reason I was laughing, because Joe is asking, does everyone know why there are 8 Ds in Paulie D's Twitter handle? And then he just goes, oh, yeah, that's the reason. And so that's what distracted me.
What's the reason?
I don't know. That's all he said. I must have missed something, because they're all laughing about it. And like me and you are apparently lost, but he has had 4 Ds at one time. DDs at one time? 4 double Ds at one time. Oh,
double Ds.
Is that what he was? Is that what Joe was talking about? I don't know.
Joe, you got a dirty mind.
Joe. Oh man. All right, who you got here, man?
Nice.
2K.
I'm gonna go with Matt Kemp.
Oh yeah, that's
He's
a really good
2.9, 2.8
like
against Jon Lester.
I like that a lot, actually. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Not gonna repeat what I just saw there. Not gonna repeat what I just saw Patio Joe say in the chat. Not gonna repeat it. But I couldn't help but laugh, and I think you would too.
He's on the money. He's on the money.
Yo, his projections are good. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, his projections right on the money. Like when I created that name, it had nothing to do with any of that, but like, it's I guess it's accurate.
Oh man. Oh gosh. I'm going with Brandon Guyer. I'm gonna go with him. He's very cheap. If he starts
no.
What's his name?
Vito. Brandon Guyer.
What?
A home run in San Francisco.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Does he even have a home run this year?
Well, he's been hurt for like 80% of the year. He's been hurt he's been hurt a lot, dude. He's been hurt so bad. All right, so
he's 2,200.
He's 22, and he's probably going to be leading off against Matt Moore.
He's got 1 home run, and he's got a 186 batting average.
Yeah, I know, but like, what was it? Where did he play last year? Was it the Tampa?
Tampa.
He mashed some lefties in Tampa, man. That's another pitcher's park. He used to mash lefties down there. He's having a rough year. He was hurt for a while, but
Dong watch?
I think he can hit one. You don't think he can hit one?
No, but that's all right.
I think he can hit one, man. I think he could get one. I know it's off the wall, and like, but like,
what if one of our listeners is like, oh, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Guyer, all in, all my 100 lineups. I'm playing him. CK said he's gonna hit a dong.
I do think he's gonna hit a dong. I'm like, yes, okay, yes. Yeah.
All right,
I wouldn't
Brandon
recommend
Guyer.
putting him in 100% of your lineups, but like. Realistically, if he leads off at 2-2, he's already a cash game lock because you're gonna punt at least one outfielder. He's like your lock already. So it's like it's one of those scenarios where it's like he's that guy that's gonna be 30%, like he's gonna be like 50-60% on in cash games, and he's gonna hit a home run. And then it's like he's gonna be one of those guys where if you didn't have him, then you end up not winning your cash games. You're like, why didn't I win? And it's like, oh, because you didn't play the cheap guy that was leading off as one of your outfield punts. So it just seems to me like I think he could. I see
I think he's gonna get sent back down to the minors now and start.
So maybe I'll get bailed out and they'll send him down before the game, and like it won't even matter. And I could say he would have hit a home run if they played him, but they didn't play him, so we'll never know. But
right.
So I'm gonna hedge myself, and and kind of hope that he doesn't play, and they'll never know what I really think.
Yep.
But yeah, 2K leading off, I think he's okay.
All right. You know, I was just busting ball.
Hey man, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. All right, so I didn't see too many questions, but the chat is live. They have their own world going on over there. So anyway, Paulie, I think we're gonna wrap this up, brother, man. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun as always. Make sure, guys, check out wisetake.com. If you're not signed up for our monthly subscription, give it a shot. We got day trials, $2.49 just to try it for a day. You get access to everything we have. You get access to our models for DraftKings, FanDuel's, pitchers and hitters. You get to see Patty Ojo's cash game article. You get to see Paulie D's attacking GPP article. And in addition to, we have a great staff here. We got Cuse and a bunch of other guys on our team that do a great job every day writing content for you. And we even have multiple sports. We got NASCAR, stat sheets, we got WNBA projections. We got a lot to offer, and I really don't think we're asking for much for the price. So do me a favor, check it out, give us a shot. You also don't miss it if you are a member. You get access Monday through Friday to the premium live streams pre-lock, 5:30 p.m. tomorrow Eastern, 5:30 Eastern.
And you know, like not even like toot my own horn, Joe, or every day pretty much one of us has smashed the article. Like,
yeah,
I haven't been actually winning like my article would lead you to believe, but you know, it's been gold lately, and I'm like hoping to God to keep it up. But like, take advantage while we're putting that out there. Like, it's really been really good. Either me or Joe, or even you. Like every day, one of us has been dead on, and like
we've had some really good content. We had some really strong stuff, and even our chats, man, the premium chats. When we get everybody in there once in a while, like Joe's always hanging out. We got Gautzob's in there once in a while. Fuego can, from time to time, he's got an account. He could always stop by. So it's like, yeah,
dude, man. Fuego could vouch. Like every night since Friday, I've sent him one player to play. Friday was Paxton. He went 49 points at 4%. Saturday was Nelson Cruz. He donged, put up like 24. And today was JD Martinez. Yeah. Like. I just been sending this guy just like gold every day on a daily basis.
Hey man, we bring the heat, man. We do this to help people, and that's genuinely what we're doing. We're trying to help people, and
we do bring the heat.
We definitely bring the heat. We bring the heat, man. Come on, man. Bring out the high voice now, man. But anyway, guys, seriously, give us a shot. It means a lot. Listen, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much, first of all. Second of all, hit that like button for us. It means a lot. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a follow there. Leave us some positive reviews. If you're listening on iTunes, go on there, the audio-only version, and give us some 5-star reviews. Let's try to bump up those charts a little bit. Because
for sure. Like, there's 21 people watching right now on YouTube. Yeah. We should have 21 thumbs up, but there's only 10.
Thumbs up by the end of this video. We should have that.
Right.
And we don't. There's like a disconnect here, but it's okay because we're going to get on the same page at some point.
That's right.
We're making progress now. We're stepping in that direction now. I mean, we get a few hundred people watching these things, so we should get more likes. Like people, consistent views. The thumbs ups aren't always there, the ratings, so help us out. And screenshots, bro. We've been writing gold, so if you guys are playing and you're winning, and you're using the articles or you're using the models or whatever, send us some screenshots.
Yeah.
Don't hold it to yourself. We want to celebrate with you. We want to be happy for you. Send us some screenshots.
Fuego.
All right, guys. I appreciate it as always. For Paulie, for myself, good luck.
Take care.